Hello, and welcome to the Torah Outreach Program, Erev Shabbos Burst of Inspiration. Today's Burst of Inspiration is sponsored by Mr. Shmuly Jeger as a Zechus for Refuah Shaleima for Rochel Bas Breindel. Last week's Parsha. Kind of funny, starting with last week. In any case, last week's Parsha, Parshas Chukas, all about arguing with Moshe, saying that he's the one that gave his brother the office of Kohen Gadol, the high priest of the Jewish people. And he's the one assigning, giving everybody their official positions. And it's not fair. And we all should have the same opportunity. We are all a holy nation, a nation of priests. Why does Aaron get it? And the whole Parsha is constantly proving something that Moshe has been trying to say all along. It's not me. It's not me. This all comes from Hashem. And once it comes from Hashem, who are we to argue? You may not get it. He has his reasons. Sometimes you do get it. Sometimes you don't. Which brings us to this week's Parsha. Parshas Chukas. A chok is a law in the Torah that we don't understand. In actuality, do we understand the depths of any law in the Torah? We get it on a surface level, but if you go to the depths of what we do, it's all beyond our understanding. This is all given to us by the one perfect being, God himself. But there are those mitzvahs that are specifically called chukim. Those mitzvahs that no matter how hard you try and no matter how smart you are, you ain't going to get it. And that comes right after Korach. Why? Obviously. The Torah is telling us that we need to have a thing called intellectual humility. This has to do with the mitzvahs of the Torah, the commandments that were given, all 613 of them. We have a mitzvah to learn and to understand Torah to the best of our ability, but at the same time, understand that no matter how deep we get, no matter how much we understand it, we still don't get it. And we still keep those mitzvahs. Because the Jewish people swore, made an oath at Mount Sinai, Na'aseh v'nishma. Na'aseh, we'll do everything, v'nishma. And then, even if we don't get it, we'll still do it, but then we will nishma, we will try our best to understand it. But the Na'aseh comes first. Because we understand, God, you are the ultimate being. You give us everything we have. And because of that, we need to follow your directive, whether we understand it or we don't. So it has to do with all the mitzvahs of the Torah, especially those that are called chukim, but also has to do with everything in life. Everything in life. I made the horrible mistake one time of arguing with a Holocaust survivor. I was giving one of my classes, and he came in with his arms folded, standing in a corner, staring at me. And after I was done, he picked up the sefer, the books that I was looking at, and he said, "You believe in everything in here?" I said, "Most definitely." He said, "So why did God let my brother die? Why did God let my father die? Why did God let my mother get shot right in front of me?" And I made the stupid mistake. It was years ago, and I was still young and new at this. And I argued. And I said, "How did you live?" He said, "It was a miracle." I said, "Exactly. Why don't we look at the miracles also? Why don't we look at the positive? How many people got out? How did Judaism bounce back? After everybody said, it's the end, it's over. And we still bounce back stronger than before. More Torah being learned in this country than any time in Europe. So argued. And then I came to my senses. And I said, listen, I don't know. I wasn't there. I'm just a kid. What do I know? You went through this. But I just want to tell you one thing. We don't know what happened. We don't know why it happened. We don't know how it happened. The one thing that we know is after all that, we're still here. And I picked up that sefer, I picked up that book, and I said, and this is why. Interestingly, the next week I came, that man came and listened to my class. And the week after that, and the week after that. And when I told him I was marrying off one of my children in Lakewood, he said he has a son who lives in Lakewood. He said he's a religious fanatic like you. And he gave me his son's number. And I called his son. And he said, I told him, your father comes to my class. And he said, no, you got the wrong person. My father doesn't come to your class. My father doesn't go to Torah classes. I said, yeah, he does. And I told him what happened. And he said, I'd like to meet you. And I told him to come to the wedding. He came. We met. He gave me a big hug. He said, thank you. And he left. What was the key? What was the key with his father? The key with his father was, I think, we have to understand that we don't understand. We have to understand that we don't understand. We need to have an intellectual humility. The Rabbanu Shalom, God sees everything past, present, and future as one big setup. All we see is a little bit of the present and some idea of the past of what we read and people told us, and absolutely nothing of the future. The whole world is one big chok. One big chok. We don't get it. But if we realize that there is someone who gets it, and that's someone a lot greater than any of us, we have that intellectual humility. We can feel safe, and we can be happy with whatever comes our way. Shabbos.